similar. Now this part is the part where I actually change the value of the buttons. Okay, so I can say set values, enable value. Okay, so I have turned the name one off, so I can't change the name. And at the same time, I've changed the one for the arrival button, the service button, the service start button, the service end button to true. And again, if you really wanted to go hog wild, you could even put in the situation where they can't press the button if you haven't got, for example, if you already have a service start, you can't press it again, okay? We use the message box to do that, which does the same thing, but if you wanted to go hog wild, you could add some additional code in there to turn that off once a service starts. All right, so then all this was the same, this is the same, okay, all that was the same. Okay, all right, so then let's close that. All right, so once you do that, you have your data set name in the right spot, and then this is turned on. Okay, so this is the same. This is the same as it was before, and I think we actually copied and pasted some stuff here. Okay, we got this code working. Okay, we got this code working. Okay, now this top row. Okay, let me put another comment in here. Only allows service start under correct conditions or correct state. Okay, so what that means is the number of arrivals has to be greater than the number of service start totals. Okay, so at the beginning of the program, before we've had any data, since we initialized ARR total and service start total, they're both 0. Okay, so if they're both 0, it means you have no arrivals. You have no arrivals to start a service for. So this will not allow, the situation will not allow you to record an arrival. Similarly, or sorry, a service start. Similarly, if the number of service starts and totals and service end totals are the same, you can't execute the code either. Okay, so this would occur you can only do it when that is correct. If the number is not correct, in other words, you have more service starts than you have service ends, what that means is the server is already busy and you can't record another service start. Okay, so only when the number is equal, either 0 and 0 or 1 and 1 or 2 and 2, will the service start allowed to occur. Okay, so you can use code similar to this, or you can use whatever you want that works. It doesn't make any difference, again, as long as it actually works. Okay, so this prevents both a situation where there aren't enough, there's nobody in the system, everybody's been cleaned out of the system, or nobody's arrived in the system, or you have a situation where the server's busy. It actually counts for 3 of those situations. Okay, so that's the code under the service start. Now, this code on the service end, okay, we cut and paste this, okay, just make sure you change the 1 to whatever it was, what was it, 2? Yeah, the 2 to a 3, okay, just make sure you change that. And of course, this total we're keeping, the running count total is also, you make sure you change that from service start to service end. Now, this one, I should be technical. Okay, so in the event that 5 services have started and 5 services have ended, it's equal. Okay, so if there's an equal number of service starts and service ends, it means that you don't have a service process ongoing. So only if the number of service starts are greater than the number of service ends, can this code be executed? And what that means is, it means that somebody's currently undergoing service, and then you can execute the code behind that. Okay, so again, this is a more elegant way. I don't remember how I did it last time, but this is a more elegant way of having this code. Now, under here, okay, so This is a kind of a tricky thing because if we have data in our data set and I want to erase it, then what that means is it implies that I want to have a new data set, and it also implies that I can't use any of these anymore because I have just started a new data set. Okay, so in addition to erasing all this, I reset data set total to 0. Okay, this is one of the things. If it remembers the wrong value, then your program is going to get crazy. So if I reset it, it means I have to delete. Not only do I have to delete the data, but I need to delete the other variables. If I wanted to be really robust in this, I would also do what? I would say ARR total is equal to 0, and I would also have the service starts and the service ends and all that. So I would actually just say up here something like initialize global variables. Most of the time when people have a bug in there and weird things starts happening, like for example, if I didn't have the data set's total is equal to 0 there, instead of putting it in the left-hand column, it might start putting it further down because it thought it had more data sets. What did I use? Service start total. I think I used service start total. And okay, all right. So I guess I better save this. All that. Okay. Now, so then here is the part where it kind of sets it up so it's the same thing as when the form was first entered. It has the data set save button thing. That's true, and then it's made these disabled, so you can't put data in there again unless you have a data set name. And then it's also blanked out the previous data set name. So that way I won't call my data set the same thing. All right, so if you can add in these sections of code, 5 little miniature sections of code, that's the crux of the assignment, because putting the forms in there only takes about 5 minutes. It's the getting the code of this part to work. Okay, so this is the basis. This is the basis of the assignment.
Can you see the code of the back?
What?
Button. The back button.
The back button?
Yeah, can you see that code?
Unload me.
Oh, so takes you to the previous one, right?
Which one? Delete data?
No, I mean like if you like to press.
Yes, it's going to go back to the form you just came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, since half of you are recording this, okay, I want to emphasize, okay, that you do not need to just simply put down what I put down. If you put down what I put down, you're not going to understand what's going on. You have to fundamentally understand what you're doing. Okay, so I just want to warn you that, for example, if I put on the exam that you take, if I put a little twist in there, okay, if you regurgitate what I did up here and you don't understand the twist that I put on there because you don't understand what's going on,